Hello, and welcome back to Valley Spring Farm. Now, today we've got a bit of a project on, and I thought I'd show you this project. And one of the reasons I'm showing you this project is we're going to talk about I want to talk about storytelling in Farming Simulator. Because the way I see it, there's some stories that are really overdone. Everyone's done them and everyone's seen it a million times, sort of thing. And there's others that I don't think have really been done at all, or not very much that I have seen. So I thought that while we're talking about that, I would actually do one. So what I have discovered, which is rather upsetting to me, is that some gypsies have moved into one of my paddocks. I left the paddock gate open in order to go down there and do some weed spraying and some other things like that, and just prep for the next harvest, prep for the next sowing of seeds for the next harvest, sort of thing. But some gypsies have moved into the land in the meantime. So what I've done is I've rung Fury Machine Gaming, who, as you know, is one of the neighbours on this farm who lives down the road. And I got him to go and hitch up a horse float onto the back of his Range Rover and drive past there, heading out into the country. Now, we all know that gypsies love nothing better than horses and checking out other people's horses and things. So they all jumped in their transit vans and the like and took off after Fury Machine Gaming so that they could check out the new horses he's obviously bought. So I've told him to just drive a few miles out into the country a bit further, towing this horse float, give me half an hour sort of thing, make sure they're following him for half an hour. So he's off leading them on a wild goose chase for half an hour. Well, we're going to go and I can't actually physically move their caravans. First of all, I've got padlocks around the bar that holds the safety bar on the tow bar that holds it onto the tow bar of a vehicle, so I'd be cutting through their padlocks, which would be destroying their property, and so I obviously don't want to be doing that. And secondly, even if I just moved the caravans out onto the road, there's every possibility that I could be accused of stealing them, and I don't want to get in trouble with the law for that. So I've got to encourage them to want to move them myself. So for that reason, we're doing it this way instead. This other idea. Now, you see, this was an idea that I've seen a video on this. It wasn't done on Farming Simulator. It was a video that was done in real life around this sort of thing. The video I saw, it wasn't gypsies. What it was greenie protesters. So we've all seen these people that are very much into the environment to such an extent that they perhaps destroying the environment without realising it sometimes and things. So, for example, they'll all go and buy electric cars to save the planet, not realising that most of the damage that a vehicle does to the environment is actually during the manufacture of the vehicle. So, rather than going and buying a new electric car that has to be manufactured specially for them, they would actually be better off just keeping the car they already had, but keeping it in a good state of tune. So what I'm doing here, because I've got these gypsies that have moved into my paddock, I'm just spraying some cow poo around the paddock, and quite frankly I don't really mind if I get some all over the side of their caravans as well. That won't worry me at all, and the smell will hopefully be enough to drive them to want to leave the property. So we're just going to get around there, but at the same time we're not actually physically moving their caravans or anything, so we can't be accused of stealing them, and all we're really doing is one of them's rolling away on its own. That certainly wasn't planned. Oh, okay, a couple of them are now rolling away on their own. Must be getting too close to them. It's causing them to do that. So that certainly wasn't planned as part of the story today, having them roll away on their own like that. But it was really just spraying them like that. And we will just stop the spraying for a minute. I'll just show you these caravan mods I found, because they're all quite good. So 3 of them came in the one mod, which are called hobby caravans, and now that it's gone to the head you can't see it quite so well, but This one's got a round table with a beer on it and some electrical bits and pieces around there. Each one is a different colour. Then this one over here had a rectangular table and a bottle of Coke on it and things. And then the other one over here had a rectangular table with a bottle of Coke and a stereo and things. So all three are a wee bit different. I think from memory you can actually walk into the caravans. I'm sure you can, but you've got to get the angle just right. Okay, oh yeah, there we go. See, so they all have a sparsely done interior that you can see, and then this one over here, this little one here, came in a double pack. This caravan comes with a warthog car, no, a Wartburg car, which is some little Russian thing, and this caravan you can also walk into. This caravan is also quite interesting. If you press E to enter the caravan, it lies you down on the bed at the front there. So I quite like this caravan because it's much older style. It's almost a teardrop style caravan, but not quite. So I do quite enjoy this caravan. All of them, when you're in the caravan, so if I just jump back into this for a second, if I press X, oh no, I've got to attach it to a vehicle. So if you press X, when you're in a car that's got the caravan hooked up to the back, it takes the tent and the furniture outside away, and it closes the door of the caravan, ready for you to drive it somewhere. And when you're parked where you want it, you just press X before you unhook it, and it sets up the awning and things out the side. So yeah, so as I said, when I saw this video, a video about this whole idea of caravans in a paddock and spraying the cow poo around the paddock to get rid of them, it was for greenies. But given this farm was set in the 80s, I didn't really think that going down the green route was really quite appropriate for farms in the 80s. I don't think we really had the greenie protesters to the same extent, so I sort of thought that I would go with the gypsies moving on my paddock story instead, which just to suit the time frame that I'm in better. But as you can see, it didn't really work very well this time because the caravan started rolling. Perhaps I should have left them hooked up to vehicles. That might have worked better then. But anyway, it's still not going to stop me from the subject matter I want to talk about, which was the whole thing of stories in Farming Simulator. So probably the most overdone one of all, of any story I've ever seen, is the inherited farm. I'm sure we've all seen those ones. Oh look, I inherited this farm from my long lost granddad or whatever, and it's all old vehicles and things, and everything's run down, and we're going to have to try and make a go of it. I think everybody's seen that story done to death on Farming Simulator. It really has just been absolutely done to death, that story. Another story, one that's, you see from time to time, but isn't quite so common, is the contractors one, where you're a contractor doing work on different farms. I must admit, that's the one that I'm doing on my Carrigart map. I don't own a farm on that map, and I am just a contractor going to do lawn mowing contracts at the moment, but later on I hope to have enough money saved to buy a combine harvester and maybe do some harvesting contracts as well. But given that most of the map is in grass, it was good to start as a mowing contractor for that. But I mean, despite the fact that I'm doing that on one of my own maps, that is another story that's been absolutely done to death, or a fair bit. Another one that I've seen a fair few times now is the whole story around fly tipping, where people download the same mod as I've used actually for things like the skip bin there and the car wreck and just a bits of stuff like that, and they do a story around fly tipping, normally in the gate of one of your paddocks or something like that. I've never done a fly tipping story when I've been playing, but it is one that I've seen done a number of times. Nowhere near as many times as the whole I inherited this farm from my grandpappy type thing. Another one that's been done a reasonable number of times, I think, is a tractor show or an AMP show, And again, I've actually got this going myself on one of my other farms. On my Greenwich Valley farm, I have a tractor show, but I've got that for a different reason. I've got it because I wanted an excuse to have some of the bigger tractors and things that just couldn't be justified because I only do small farming. I really couldn't justify having big tractors, but I do like to drive them sometimes. So I put on the whole A&P show, tractor show there, with some bigger equipment there, so I got to drive all the bigger equipment. Now, where am I going with this? Oh, I did put the little David Brown away next. So the tractor show's been done a fair bit, and I have done it myself. Now, another one that I've seen a few times, not a great deal, but I've seen it done a few times, and I've seen it done very, very well, is the combine fire, where you start combining a field, and then you have a fire, and you take the combine off there, and sometimes replace it with a black one sort of thing, so it looks like it's all burnt out, or something like that. So that's another story that I've seen done a few times. I've actually done that story not on any video, but I've done it myself a few times just as a way to spend money. You have a combine fire, you get the fire engines and things out, and then you so you have to spend money on buying a new combine and things. So I've done that story offline on different maps a few times, but I've never actually recorded a video where I've had a combine fire. You could probably also do it as a baler fire. I think balers are something else that catch fire from time to time, but probably combines are more known for catching on fire. Then there's a few story modes that aren't necessarily done and things. So I've never ever seen someone do a greenie protest or gypsies like what I was attempting to do with this video, but didn't really work out, and perhaps you could argue that I should re-record it, put the caravans back in place and things, but I've already started the video and I don't really have time to re-record it, so we'll just go with that. Another one that I haven't seen done very often, I've seen once or twice but not very often, is having a vet show up and having to get, or either because you've got one sick animal and the vet's coming out to help with that, or coming out to help with perhaps checking them all over for something. So I've seen vets turn up occasionally on videos, and in fact, interestingly enough, if I let's go to the map view here for a second, and if we go vehicles, and where am I going? Up here somewhere. That one, that's the exact vehicle I needed. Go into vehicle. Let's turn the vehicles off again so I don't forget. You'll notice that I have a vet here. See, you can tell from the num plate, that's the vet there, and that vet is up here at the neighbour's farm at the moment, and of course we all know, we're familiar with that. And I've got this set up, so like this one I've got the whole thing set up basically based off those. If you've ever seen any of the videos where people have set up the farms using the die-cast vehicles, so I've got a tractor loading, is it corn? Yep, corn in there, and I've got the vet over there and things. So, you know, I kind of set this one up. Where am I? Sorry, just trying to. There we go. Set this up to kind of work like a wee bit like one of those die-cast farms. But yes, it does have a vet there. Another one that I've, another story mode that I've done myself once on video, and it was actually on this farm as well. I've never ever seen anyone else do it. Is in one of my videos I got the excavator out to clear some drains on the farm. I cleared one of the drains on the farm here. I think I even went as far as to cut down a couple of trees. Yes, I know, me cut down trees. Who would have ever known? Because they had root system beginning to get into that drains. So that's another video that I've done once and I've never ever seen anyone else do. But to any of you that do farming videos, I challenge you to come up with a story mode. It doesn't have to be a story mode for a whole series of videos. It can just be a story for one video. That is something that's real life perhaps, but that you've never ever seen anyone do on Farming Simulator before. So just an idea for a video, something that no one's ever done before. And I'd really love to see what you could each come up with for a story for on a farm. So come up with a story that's never been done on Farming Simulator before, and I'll leave you to think about that and see if you can come up with any ideas, and I will call that it for now on this farm. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye.